been whooped on stage. Great, thank you. It's fabulous to be here. Really, really been looking forward to this. Been telling all my friends about it. One of them who's here tonight, actually, so I can get her back for this. When I told her I was coming tonight, the first thing she said was, Andrew, we need to think about what you're going to wear. Thank you very much. So I'm actually here. I'm not an academic. I'm here to talk about Christianity, but don't try and leave because the doors have been bolted. Obviously, good Christian boy, the cardigan, it had to be. I would have gone for the sandals with socks and maybe a quiche. But I'm a real man. And we all know real men do not eat quiche. And I don't have any sandals, and I will shame me. Where did that come from? I was chatting with another friend just recently. I have two. And managing to convince him that the ecological meltdown, as I like to encouragingly call it, really was going to happen, and we really did need to do something about this. Now, he's a bit of a fundamentalist, evangelical, charismatic type Christian. Don't know if you know the type, but basically, to become one, you have to have your brain removed. Took a bit of doing, but I convinced him that actually, yeah, this was a problem. He said, it's not a problem, it's all right. Jesus is the answer. Jesus is the answer. What a load of bollocks. How on earth is Jesus the answer to global warming, other than possibly whipping out his giant astral straw? And sucking up those molten ice caps. Jesus is the answer indeed. But to get me to thinking, well, what are the world problems are there that maybe Jesus could be the answer to? I don't know, homelessness. Now we solve that one. World hunger, though. Now that one's easy. You see, we all know, died, rose again, lives forever. World hunger, no problem. Barbecue Jesus. Feed everyone. Not a problem. We could even have a multicultural slant here for the French, little marinated Messiah. Or, would you like to nibble on my Nazarene nuggets, madam? For the Caribbeans in the audience, maybe a little Jamaican jerk Jesus. Jesus is the answer indeed. Problem is, lots of people out there actually think that if you're a Christian, you think you've got the answers, and couldn't be further from the truth, basically. I'm a liberal Christian, and therefore do not necessarily think I know all the answers. In fact, I'm more into the big questions. Problem for me is I work in a church office, and the people out there, they think that I think I know all the answers. So they will phone the office with all sorts of bizarre and weird questions. Fortunately, this is a genuine story. It happened to a colleague of mine, who fortunately isn't here tonight. She answered the phone call from a chap who was on the other end of the line. He wanted to know if he could speak with a priest. He had a problem. Unfortunately, there wasn't one there, so could I maybe speak to you, he said. Well, she's a very nice lady, so she said yes. Well, he said it's like this. I have a very small penis. When I'm with a woman, it falls out. You were thinking it, and you were right. Well, quite how he thought the priest or Jesus was going to help him with this problem, I have absolutely no idea. We do have people who come to the church where I work. They offer spiritual healing, the laying on of hands. Maybe that would have been going a little bit too far. Anointing with oil wouldn't really help, would it? In this context. Do you see the headlines, can't you? Jesus gives man bigger willy. The churches would be packed. With men claiming to have always been coming to this church. Oh, yes. I have to have billboards outside. Say things like, Jesus is coming. Now you can too. It's such a good job that people from the congregation where I worship are not here tonight. They pay my salary, I would be out of a job. It is a pretty rubbish job, but it does pay something. Anyway, as I was saying, belong to a church office. Jesus is coming. Reminds me of Advent, the period leading up to Easter. Advent comes from the Latin word, adventus, means coming. You can just imagine Mark Anthony and Cleopatra now, can't you? Screaming out, Adventus, Adventus! We do like to take Latin words in Christianity and use them in the modern context. This is about as historical as I'm going to get tonight, by the way. So we like to use Latin words to give names to parts of the year or to particular Sundays in the church year. Obviously you've got Christmas and Easter and Lent. I was talking with Katerina actually backstage. She, as you know, is from Greece, and she tells me, and I just can't figure this one out, in Greece practically every Sunday has a festival with a food attached to it. Did you see, Katerina? How is that fair? She wanted to know if we had the same thing in the UK. I'm not entirely sure what she was trying to say, but the answer is no, we don't. The only one I could think of, I'm from the northeast, if you haven't guessed, of England, I suppose I should point out. And on the 5th Sunday in Lent, there is this tradition. It's called Carling Sunday. Now, it's nothing to do with lager louts, unfortunately. Carling Sunday is a Sunday where you get to eat carling peas. That's about as exciting as it gets. Carling peas, they're little grey things. You soak them overnight and fry them up. 5th Sunday in Lent. Whoopee. My favourite Sunday is actually the two just before Lent. The Sunday before Lent, 50 days before Easter, is called Quinquagesima Sunday. Don't you just love the sound of that? Quinquagesima. The one before that, 60 days before Easter. Every schoolboy's favourite. Sexagesima Sunday. Trust the church to have a special Sunday for it. Not this year, dear. So, the church where I worship has a robed choir, and we're quite a traditional congregation in some ways, liberal in others, traditional in some, but so the choir wear robes which are quite hot, quite warm. We've just had the heating fixed at the church. It's kind of going overtime at the moment, so the choir have suggested that we add a traditional Sunday to the church lectionary. As well as Remembrance Sunday, we might perhaps have a Commando Sunday. Now the congregation, of course, would all think the choir were praying for the armed forces. You and I know better. The service that day would be led by nothing more than a bunch of cocks in frocks. We are a liberal congregation, so we mustn't leave out the muffs in ruffs. Jargon. I've not really said very much about what I wanted to say to you tonight, which was just that Christianity for me is not about Jesus is the answer, claiming to your answers. It's all about the big questions. It's not about living in the past, it's not about history, so actually I think I'm probably here on the wrong night. But it is about asking big questions and being open to them. And the way we kind of explore that is by getting together often in the likes of little book groups, something like that. One of my jobs as church administrator is to produce a weekly newsletter in which I publish details of all the sorts of things that are going on that people might like to take part in. Now, friends of mine regularly remind me, they are kind friends, of the occasion on which I missed out the essential letter G from the name and address of the host of one of that week's groups. Unfortunately, the name of the man hosting the group, Angus. What's a G between friends, really, I ask? I've obviously got something about the letter, actually, because I also, in a previous incarnation, did create a poster inviting all and sundry to come and sing with the church choir. Clearly, it was Commando Sunday. Thank you very much.